to realize that it is all a dream. It is not so you can stop dreaming. It is to realize that only you, the dreamer, is real, and nothing that appears is separate from you, the dreamer. You think this is your life. You think your pain is evidence of your pain, of your growth, of your struggles. You think that your calendar is keeping track of your days. You think that your calendar shows how old, how wise, how walked through life you are. You think that your struggle, your trauma, and your healing process means something. What if I told you you're dreaming? What if I told you you're dreaming? And not metaphorically. I don't mean it metaphorically, I mean it literally. Everything around you, everything you're fighting for, and everything you're fighting against, it's just architecture inside of a dream. And you are not a character inside the dream. You are the dreamer. You were never meant to fix the outside world. I keep telling people, friends, clients, and people in my surroundings that you can't fix reality. You can't change anything in your reality. Because trying to change something in the outside world is quite similar, in my view, to putting makeup on the mirror, putting your foundation on the mirror, putting your eyeshadow on the mirror, putting your lipstick on the mirror, and going out thinking you're wearing a face full of makeup. You are aware when you're looking in the mirror that to change something in the mirror, you have to change it on yourself. You're not going to start applying makeup on the mirror. You're going to start applying makeup on yourself and looking in the mirror for confirmation for what you did on yourself. Life is the same. What you see, it's a set, it's a mirror. The actors, they're projections of yourself. The happenings are mirrors of what's happening within you. That you are trying to correct. You are trying to change. You want to change the happenings. You label them as luck, good luck, bad luck, alignment, non-alignment. You label all of this to fit your narrative. But it's you that's creating the narrative. Your identity, the one you are so hell-bent to defend, that's the character. It's given to you by the dream itself. In human design, we call this identity the not self. I don't like the idea of the not self. It's meaningless to me. I don't understand how I can be not self. What I call it instead is the script. the script that I've been handed. But what we forget along the way is that we write that script. Your mind, your personality is the character, is the costume, your happenings, the events in your life, your trauma, your struggles, your pains, your suffering, your joys, your fulfillment, your success. These are plot devices. Would you actually watch a movie where nothing happens? Would you be invested in that movie, or would you want a movie that keeps you on the edge of your seat, where there's always something happening, where the character overcomes trauma, it struggles to defeat things in their lives? What are you watching? What would you watch? A movie with nothing, boring, nothing ever happening, or a movie that has deep emotional involvement that keeps you on the edge of your seat? This is what you're creating, a movie of your life that's worth watching. Your pain, your suffering, everything you've experienced is plot device. Do it for the plot. But your inner authority, as human design presents us, that's your original movement. That's your original calling. That's your original signal. That's the real you trying to pick up the controller. If you were to see life as a video game, you are seeing it from the first person view. You're seeing everything for the first person view. And you can decide to see it as like a passenger, like a movie. You can decide to see it as what's happening and have no involvement in it and watch the game. Or you can pick up the controller, which is your strategy and authority. You can pick up the controller and start playing, start interacting, knowing full well that your interaction impacts the game, not the other way around. The game doesn't impact the player impacts the game. The game is rigged, the game is all written out, and the storylines only appear as you progress to the levels. You know, when you fail a level, you repeat it. It's similar in life. You might repeat it with different characters. You might be repeated in a different setting, but you repeat the same level until you pass that same level. And the path carries on. The next level does not exist, does not appear. It is not present in your awareness. You can't see it. Similar like you can't see it in a game, it's gray or something. You can't click there because you have to reach certain level. You can't reach there until you've passed that aspect of yourself. Now, human design is not a system, it's not a belief. I don't like to use it that way. I'm not following Ra Uruhu's words as a divine message. Human design is a tool. It's a tool not to control the dream or to control the characters in the dream, but to remember who is behind the dream, who is the dreamer. You don't need to figure it out, you just need to see it, witness it differently. Stop trying to think your way out of reality and start realizing that reality is created from within you. Your main controllers, your main sources of buttons of control in this environment, it's your energy. And human design is a tool that shows you where you have consistent energy and where you don't, where you're here to use your energy and where you're here to take in energy. The mind is part of the game. The mind is what generates the game. And the mind wants to identify with the character. It does not want to get out of the game. That's the whole point of it. The game to be immersive enough for you to believe it's real. If the mind would be able to unplug fully from the game would cease to exist. And that is life. You can't cease to exist in it. You have to be immersed in it fully in order to make it worthwhile, in order to play it. You enter in any video game and you can't break out of character. You can't be change the character. You can't change the NPCs. You can't change the other players. If you're playing online, everybody's a player behind their own controller. The mind is part of the game, is part of this illusion, is the character you're playing there. And it has its own rules. It has its own limitations of what it can and cannot do. The mind is designed in such a way in which it understands and takes in the game rules. It understands and takes in the reactions. The dream is only real when you believe you are the character. When, as long as you believe you are the character playing in the game, the one that you experience in your front view person, that's when it's real. But that's not you. You are the silence beneath that dream. Wake up. Don't stop dreaming. You know, the point of it is to have a lucid dream. This is what we're talking about in spirituality when we're talking about awakening. Um, and it's extremely similar to the dream experience. If any of you have ever had a lucid dream, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I've personally had lucid dreams since I was around 8 or 9. I will share with you the exact story. I was having a recurring nightmare. And every time I would be chased by some people or entities, I don't know if they were people, by some entities in white suits, sort of like bee wearing suits, like containment suits, like you would wear in a major disease outbreak, and they were wearing all white, and they would have those masks with windows, but they were all protected. And I was being chased by such entities, and I would wake up from during the run, and this was a recurring nightmare that I had for weeks. And at one point, I remember vividly waking up in the dream and realizing that it's a dream, realizing that I'm at home sleeping and nobody's chasing me. And I started changing the dream. Instead of running from the people in the white suits, I started turning back and asking questions. I started manipulating the dream. And I did it quite innocently. I didn't know what was happening. I was still a child, but that was lucid dreaming. Now I can do it not on demand, but pretty much on demand. Whenever something out of the ordinary happens in the dream, I can wake up in the dream, tell myself, hey, you're dreaming, and change the dream. And it's instant and on command. I have a normal dream night and not a nightmare. I'm walking around my hometown and I see an aspect of my hometown that's not aligned with reality, and it triggers me to wake up in the dream, something that doesn't fit in what I know as reality. It triggers me to wake up in the dream, and I know that I'm dreaming. And in that state, I can tell myself, okay, you're dreaming, this doesn't match reality. And it changes instantly. I can change architecture in the dream. I can change the characters, how they look in the dream. I can change everything in the dream. When I'm lucid dreaming, I'm not awake, I'm not asleep. I'm in an in between state where the dream and the reality kind of mix up, and my own self can change the dream. Is the same thing in reality. We are meant to wake up here or not. Most people don't. They like the dream. They decorated it with what they enjoy. They added people around that hold parts of their identity. All the people they've added are like anchors to their dream to make it more real. They've decorated it beautifully. They've committed to it. They've got married to it. They've got married inside of it. But once you see it, once you really truly see it, you can't unsee it. It's really hard to uh, believe it's real after you've experienced at least once the sensation of taking the controller and playing with the dream yourself. Now, you're asking what happens after we awakened. Nothing much. The dream carries on. It still happens the same way. You'll still feel pain. You'll still wash the dishes. You'll still go through routines. You'll still pay taxes. You'll still grieve from the dead. You'll still feel all the pain, heartbreak, struggle, everything you're feeling right now. But you'll do it awake and with a different kind of presence. It's the kind of presence that doesn't allow you to sink too deeply into the dream. It doesn't allow you to flinch, to get scared when the dream throws you a plot twist, a monster, or gives you a miracle. You're no longer gonna define your life in terms of luck or good luck, bad or evil. You're gonna define your life in matter of plot twists and game happenings. And you will be able to not react to life, but to witness it, to realize what you're here to do. Because you're not here to finish the game faster. Nobody wants that, right? We want to live for as long as possible. Life is the dream, life is the game. We're here to learn, we're here to remember, we're here to be ourselves and to develop skills and to develop ourselves and to aim towards self mastery, to aim towards self love, to aim towards peace within. That's what we're here for. We're here to enjoy the game with all its ups and downs, with all its suffering. We're here to be on the edge of our seat, looking for the next thing that happens and position us to receive that, to fully see that. In my work with Alchemy by Design, I walk with people through this dream exactly as it is. I show them how they're creating their reality through very simple exercises. And each gate in their Alchemy by Design chart is a room, is a stage, it's an aspect of their dreaming self. And the shadow is their inner power, their inner selfishness, the special abilities that a character has in order to face the world, in order to face the game, in order to go to the next level, in order to go to the next step. And you don't solve the dream by trying harder to change it, by going further into the game itself, by believing it's more real. You solve it by dropping in, by picking up the controller, and by listening to your real voice within, not listening to the characters in the game, listening to your real voice within. Where do you want to go next? You you surrender your mind. You give up your mind, as the mind is just the character that's playing there. You allow the mind to play. You allow the mind to express. You allow the mind to interact. That's what it's for. It's it's here to truly get immersed and enjoy the game. And you let the game, the dream, move you. You stop chasing validation. You start realizing that you place meanings on things, not the other way around. Things don't mean anything on themselves. And that's both the biggest issue, because we don't all have the same reality. We can't ever agree on a similar meaning. That's the biggest issue. That's the biggest point of conflict. That's the biggest point of dissonance between the players. But that's also the biggest comfort, because if nothing has meaning, then you're the one placing meaning. You become the meaning of your dream. If somebody looks at you a certain way, you're the one who gets to decide he looked ugly, he looked upset, he looked like something's wrong with him, or he looked like something's wrong with me. And I'm taking it personally. And now I'm upset. And now I feel like I should change his mind about me, and I should do something to prove to him that I'm not the person he thinks I think I am. Do you even understand what we're doing here? Because it's not who the other person thinks you are, it's who you think they think you are. And you're trying to change that. You're trying to manipulate that, as if you had a way inside somebody else's controllers, as if you would like to control somebody else's aspect of the game. And there's a whole discussion online about NPCs. Are those real people? Are they not? Do they have souls? Doesn't matter. You're the only one who are here to control your perception, your reality, how you position yourself with the game, which direction you're going in the game, how you're interacting with the characters in the game. It doesn't matter for you if the other characters in the game are using their controller or not. This is another aspect where you want the game to be more interesting. You want the other characters to know what you know, and you want the other characters to play like you play. But you can't control the other characters. The other characters might be as well non-playable characters, or there might be other characters like in an online game all playing together. It still doesn't make any difference to how you position yourself in the game and how you play the game. When you start walking this pattern, fully aware, fully awake, you start seeing how you are giving meaning to things and how you define your actions based on the meaning you're giving to things. But things intrinsically have no meaning. So you think you your mind is designed to see it like this. You're seeing something that means something that drives your actions to correct that something. But what you're missing is that what you're seeing is just the cause of the meaning you've already placed within. Being angry, being rageful, looking in a different way, you're placing a meaning as wrong. That person is angry at me. I must be wrong, so I must correct that. Your perception of them being angry, it's yours. Maybe they're grieving, maybe they're growing through something different. You're placing that meaning and you're trying to correct their experience of you when all you have to be aware is I'm placing a meaning that somebody is angry at me, which means I feel that I've done something wrong. I feel that. The other person might or might not feel that. That's the projection field. Everything changes when you start realizing that you're the one placing the meanings. And everything can mean anything. And your emotions are the interface. The more you react emotionally to something, the more you're interacting with it in the game. That's the interface. That's how you're interacting with them. So if there's something in you that's steering, even right now, as I've explained all this, but some tiny whisper in your mind that says, maybe this reality isn't what it seems, then this is your call. This is the dissonance that's meant to happen in your reality for you to wake up still in the dream, not in order to escape the dream. We don't want that. Not in order to fight against the dream, to ascend, to escape it, to get out of the matrix, but to wake up and pick up the controller and to play the game as you intended. I'm just here to remind you what you see, what you experience, it was never real to begin with. The Hermetic laws tell us as within, so without. It's not as without, so within. No, it starts within. There's another Hermetic law that tells us the cause and effect. Nothing is a coincidence. Coincidence is just a name that you give for something that you don't know the cause of. The cause is within you. The cause is the aspect of you have forgotten. And your real self is the one outside of the dream, which already knows the way. So listen and walk with me.